can see it. Oh, okay, I have a green screen, so yes, there we go. And also thank you to our amazing community members, Hakeem, as well as Blue Pho3nix, for joining us today. And we're going to be talking about a few other things too before we get started. And also, by the way, please grab your coffee or tea. I have apple juice today, as well as water. Happy New Year. It is officially 2025. I wish I had the fireworks in the background. And also, happy first anniversary of the Angie Tech Cafe. Now, you might be wondering, what is the Angie Tech Cafe? I made this Discord community with the name Angie Tech Cafe because I like cafes and I like technology, especially cybersecurity. And I noticed that a lot of folks are looking for opportunities to learn and grow. And I was like, you know what? Why not do this in a community setting, like a Discord, where we're not always on social media, but we're still online and we're still networking, we're growing, we're learning, we're inspiring in this community. And we did something called Coffee Tea Chats. And actually, Blue Pho3nix was the first person to do a talk for us. This was our very first one. Originally, we were going to do, what was it, a hack the box, but we ended up doing a try hack me session. But I think it had to do with like website hacking or application security of some sort. I don't remember the room. Do you remember the room by any chance?
I don't remember the room exactly either, but it was a good one.
It was a very good one. I think it was our first time going through the room, so we were trying to check to make sure that all of our connections were done. And we had a very great time. Although it shows a few folks, a lot of people showed up to this one and they were really excited. So that was our first one. Although I cannot upload every single video, I still have one more video to upload. Neurodiversity in cyber, we have a few up here, such as the one I did on my own too. It was the same month, I think, with Blue Pho3nix's Coffee Tea Chat. I did one with networking, and then we have, it's not actually in this order, it's the Career Boost one, the Career Development Workshop. Shout out to Yessie. Thank you so much for doing this amazing workshop. I noticed a lot of folks showed up to that one. And we also did one in July, which was the esports with CTFs. Shout out to Peter. Thank you for that. And then I believe it was social engineering with Hakeem. Thank you for that one too. That was a very fun one. We learned a lot about social engineering, OSINT, all the things. And then afterwards, we have the offensive versus defensive AI security one. That was really cool. We also did a mini CTF challenge at the end. Shout out to Almal too for that wonderful presentation. So please, folks, do check this out. You might see this somewhere else that we'll be talking about somewhere later on today. But yeah, it's our community public speaking events, and these are free events that you can join. And obviously, this YouTube channel itself is free, so you can check this all out. Yeah, thank you, everybody. This was such a wonderful year. And like I said, we didn't have Nathan's video up, so I'm giving him a shout out here with this lovely screenshot that we have here. So stay tuned for that video. I also want to thank our wonderful CTF team, Hakeem, Andrea, who's not with us today, but she's here in spirit, and as well as Blue Pho3nix. This is a wonderful, wonderful journey. We've actually planned this CTF for so long. Yeah, I want folks to know who you are. I mean, there's been a few coffee tea chats, but...
Hi, everyone. My name's Hakeem. Been in tech for 20 years. Love everything about tech, especially social engineering, OSINT, and hacking and forensics. Yeah, thanks, Angie, for having me on. And over to you, Blue.
Hey, nice to meet everyone here. Hope you're having fun. Really excited to be working on these CTFs, made some web forensics and CTFs, and hope you enjoy them. I'm a volunteer for Black Girls Hack as a penetration tester, and I also work as a cyber mentor for CodePath, and I'm excited to be here. Hope you have fun.
Yeah, thank you. Awesome presentations. That's why I was like, you know what? I was gonna introduce you guys with your like wonderful bios. I'm like, it's better if the actual presenters present themselves, you know. Shout out to y'all. Thank you so much. Yeah, we've actually started this whole journey literally 1 year ago, literally in January. And then the CTF itself, we started last year, the beginning of last year, I think like September, October, around that time frame. So I hope that folks enjoy the CTF. And speaking of CTF, I'm going to share the CTF. I got a lot of questions about our CTF, and they were like, where do you register? We have this button. It has an icon with a plus sign, and this is register, so you can register. And it is a free CTF, folks, so you don't have to pay anything. It's a community CTF. So after you register, then it will direct you to the teams tab. It won't show this, or it'll show create a team or pick a team. I would definitely check out the rules page too to figure out what you can and cannot do in the CTF. We did mention things like Google. You can only have 4 players per team. This is also because we have amazing prizes. And by the way, shout out to our sponsor for the prizes, Hakeem. If I say the name wrong, just correct me. Taylor D Solutions LLC, thank you so much. And actually, Hakeem, could you tell us a little bit about Taylor D Solutions LLC?
Yes, we are a women-owned, minority-owned, veteran-owned, small cybersecurity firm in the DMV area.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much, because originally we were not going to have like any sponsors. We were not going to have any prizes. It was just going to be like this fun, free community CTF. And I was like, you know what? This is really nice. So I appreciate that. And I believe all of the whole NG Tech Cafe community appreciates that. So thank you so much. Thank you to our sponsor. The $1 million question is, when does this begin? It's not live right now, but it will begin, or it will run from January 31st, 2025 at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm sorry to folks in other time zones, but this is the best one that we could work with. It's a 24-hour CTF, so it will end at February 1st, and that's a Saturday, at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and it's virtual. So what's great about virtual CTFs, you can play this from anywhere in the world on your laptop. I don't recommend using your phone just because the challenges that we have, and it will be kind of hard to get through some of the challenges. That's what I would recommend, using a laptop. And you don't need a fancy laptop too. I've heard people ask me about using specific equipment for CTFs. I mean, as long as you can run systems like Kali or other, like I would say Linux would be very nice for what we're doing. Maybe Windows too, depending. Maybe some cloud, maybe some other things, miscellaneous. Yeah, we have a lot of different categories. And you can also connect with us too. We have like the YouTube here today. I also write a few blogs too. And we have our amazing Discord. Not to be biased, but I would join the Discord just to learn more about what's going on with the CTF too, and to connect with our community as well, to learn and grow and inspire together. I already mentioned here, I mean, as much as we, the CTF engineers, enjoy CTFs and playing CTFs, we can't participate since we did create challenges. So due to those reasons, only those who are playing in the United States will unfortunately be able to get prizes, but your participation, it does matter, and please do document your journey. I think that will lead to many open doors, especially if you're like a aspiring like cybersecurity analyst or even pen tester, different roles. We're trying to diversify the content in there. So I think it's very good, from my personal opinion, not to be biased, but I believe all the engineering team members have worked really hard to make sure that we are making this great for all levels. So it's going to vary. But yes, we definitely welcome those who are interested in having a career in cybersecurity to join our CTF. And please share this with your friends, your community, because it's team based. So you don't have to do this by yourself. Please, 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 please do not have imposter syndrome. I think one of the best things to do is to try instead of having regrets, right? It's about trying, it's about learning, it's about growing. I actually wanted to ask either Hakeem or Blue Pho3nix what your CTF experiences are. Maybe your first CTF or your last CTF. What is in the lens of a CTF player? Like, how do you get started? Tips, anything?
Yeah. My first one was by accident. I
Really?
was at a GERCON conference in Michigan back in like
Oh,
2014, 2015.
wow.
I signed up by accident. They were giving out free lock picking sets, and I wanted one. So it was like the first like
Wow.
10 to 20 people that signed up, you got either a lock pick set or one of the antennas. So I signed up, got a lock picking set, and knew nothing about OSINT or CTFs. And then like half an hour later, they say, "Okay, competition starts." I'm like, "What?"
Wow, that's cool.
So
Wow.
yeah, me and my friend was like, "Up, I guess we're in a competition." And I never forget this. It was like the keynote speaker walked by who I didn't know at the time, but now I do. Jason Street. He was like, "Yo, just start with Google."
Right.
And like that's how I started OSINT. That's how I started competitions. And there were like 70 something teams. We came
Mhm.
in fourth place. And that
Wow.
that like lit a fire. It's like, oh well, I like this. This was fun. And
Yeah.
let's keep doing it. So we went back to school, we started practicing. And next year we
Wow.
went back. We was in first place at the last 30 seconds. And we ended up
That's
because people,
intense.
yeah, the other two teams they put their answers in at the last second. So we ended up going from like first or third, literally within like the last 30 seconds. Um, but since then, it's been like 10 years now. So I've competed mostly social engineering, OSINT, and I've judged a ton of competition since then. So that's kind of how I
Nice.
got in and what I've been doing.
That's
But
amazing. Yeah, the last
just
30
because I wanted a
seconds.
lockpick set.
Yeah. Oh, did you get it, you said?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I've come
Wow.
since then. I've come in top five every time I've competed. I've been in first place once, typically second or third. Always uses me and like one or two other people. One year I was competing and I was teaching another team how to compete.
Oh,
That was
wow.
I wouldn't recommend that. That was weird. Because they
Okay.
almost got higher place than we did. So I wouldn't recommend that. But
Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
CTFs are fun, right? It's a good way for
Hmm.
you to learn something
Yes.
new or perfect your craft and get your competitive juices flowing. It's just fun. Whether you
Yes.
win or lose, it's a great experience. That experience helped me land an internship. I literally put that experience on my resume. I got an internship with a government contractor, which led to like a full-time job. So like you never know what can happen if you compete.
I agree. I agree. Blue Phoenix, would you like to share your story? I'm pretty sure you got some good stories from what I saw online.
Yeah, that was awesome. Thanks for sharing. I started off in the Wicked Six competition and I had a lot of fun. I wasn't really interested in like winning so much as like learning, and I just didn't know what SSRF was. It was a web, it's a web vulnerability. I basically had spent most of my time on that first CTF just learning about SSRF and how to exploit it, and it
Hmm.
was a lot of fun. It gave me a lot of points, that one, but it was more about like just like searching and finding stuff, and that's my favorite part about CTFs is that you can learn so much. And then also working on teams, like was part of the John Hammond Discord. We started a CTF team, and on that team, I learned a lot working with people and how to exploit vulnerabilities with people. Like if you don't know something, someone else knows something. So that's the
Yeah.
cool thing about working with people. So if you know anyone that is working on CTFs or just like likes cybersecurity or just is your friend, just hook up with them and start a team. This CTF allows 4 people, so go for it.
Definitely.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And I feel like she has more to say because I've seen Blue Phoenix online just also talking about each experience and doing a lot of like write-ups too, similar to what I was doing as well with my journey, like making those write-ups, advertising CTFs. There's a lot that I saw you to do. So I didn't want you to downplay yourself there. You do a lot. I feel like you've done a lot of like hack the boxes too and try hack me's and
Yeah.
obviously, yeah, you're
I
doing a
just
lot.
completed the CBBH, the Hack the Box Certified Bug Bounty certification, and that was a lot of fun because you get to chain a lot of web vulnerabilities. That's like super fun. So I definitely recommend that. If anyone has any questions about the CBBH, definitely DM me or whatever. But yeah, I'm on the Discord, so
Yes, yes. Everyone here is on the ATC Discord, and you can reach out to them. They have given you permission to reach out to them. Yeah, definitely check that out. So I guess I can go on to my story with my CTF journey. Most people actually don't know. I actually started off a long time ago. I'm talking years ago, my very first CTF. Like I had no idea either. And I think I was one of the few females in my cybersecurity community college club at the time, and it was a blue team CTF. It was called the Mid Atlantic Cyber Collegiate Defense Competition, MACCDC for short. Long name for one competition. From there, I learned about, I guess you can say, the mindset of a red teamer because I had to play as a blue teamer. And I was also a student at the time, so I was on a team setting. But although I played as the team captain, and I wasn't there most of the time because I was working with we call the white team, which are like the judges for a competition, and they usually give you tasks. So I was out, and I think one of the most craziest things they ever made me do, so I wouldn't be able to defend anything on the system. I feel so bad for that one Active Directory that was down, but I had to run like a mile during ACTF, so I wouldn't be near any screen. And it was all in heels too, folks, because I had to also appear as like a CISO for the role. Like the team captain was essentially like a CISO or Chief Information Security Officer, or even like a CTO, Chief Technology Officer, and I had to report to the CEO about what our findings were, like what the vulnerabilities were. And obviously, you have to like write a little report for that. Of course, there's a team called Red Team. I think we know who that team is. That is the offensive security side. I'm going to try to wrap this up as much as possible, but essentially what they did was anything that I tried to do to defend, they would literally try to ruin everything, including my conversation with the CEO. Like anytime I said, oh, this vulnerability happened, and then the CEO would get a call and say, oh, by the way, whatever you're saying is not true because I just got a call that this system's down and it's your fault. And what are you going to do to fix that? And you had to make sure that whenever you typed out a report that it was printed out and it was typed and it was ready. Because if you didn't and you handed like a written note, the CEO would just rip it up in your face and throw it back at you. It's like, you're supposed to be the CISO. You're supposed to be the CTO. Like, what is this one-page report? So that was my experience. But I did learn also that same day who Mubix was. So Mubix, if you're watching this, thank you for taking down my Active Directory. He brought that all down, and I saw, what was it, Pusheen the cat. So, it's really important to make sure that your ports are not open like they're supposed to, unless you have to for the competition, if you're doing blue team side. But then after I did that one, I was able to actually land one of my first jobs too, and not exactly in cyber, but it was a technical role that helped me lead into cyber. So I do think that college competitions do help, but if you're not in school, you can also do CTFs like we're doing, but we're going to be doing that I'm talking about today, which is the one on the 31st. And that one is more It's a mix of everything, but there's definitely a lot of offensive security topics, and that was my experience, my very first experience. It was a very intensive role. It definitely did teach me about how to write technical things, as well as getting into the mindset of red teamer, but also at the same time learning a lot of cyber defense techniques. So I think each person has their own unique experience. I think that's what makes it really awesome. So it just shows it doesn't matter like how old you are or how young you are or what your background is. Anybody can get into cyber, and it just shows here today we are the living examples that you can get a role in cyber by doing CTFs. Any thoughts or comments on this as we're talking about all of our journeys? Like, I just want to know if there was anything that anyone wants to say. And of course, yes, you can drink your coffee or your tea too. I'm gonna do that too.
Yeah, I would just kind of just say what Blue said, like, do it.
Mm-hmm.
Just do it. Like, even if you do it once, just do it. Get that experience. And again, it is a good thing to talk about, especially in an interview. Like when they always ask, tell me about yourself. People
Oh
typically tell
yeah.
them what's on their resume. Don't do that, right? Tell them something like this. Hey, I competed at Capture the Flag. It was on this particular area. And here's what I learned from it, right? Here's why I did it. Here's what I learned from it. You never know the impact that might have when you're doing that interview.
Yes, I agree. I definitely agree on that. Yeah, I've seen moments where, like, even for myself, it's really important to show like a little story about yourself because that's your moment to shine. People don't understand that when you're doing, so why not showcase your portfolio, show the personality, show your story. Trying to think of the word in English. Well, because I speak different languages, but I'm trying to think about like other things, ways of saying it in the same way. But I'm trying to hint to people that it's important to document your journey. I wish, honestly, years ago, I documented my journey properly, just like a setting like this, for example, like going out and doing like a live stream or doing a CTF and actually writing a blog if you don't want to put your face out there, right?
Yeah, and also you can showcase a lot of your skills that you gained from CTFs in an interview. I'm going to be interviewing on Monday actually, and I'm going to be talking about CTFs and CTF building and like what I've built and stuff like that. Like I mean, on applications, a lot of times you'll see a CTF player. They want CTF players. So definitely apply for those jobs, first of all. And second of all, bring up what you learned in the CTFs in the interview and like how well you did or whatever. And it's definitely going to help for sure.
Yeah. And do you have any recommendations of like what platforms, like for example, maybe I know you had like a few. Like I don't know if it was you or someone else. I saw like a GitHub. I saw a Medium. Are there any like other platforms you recommend for people to showcase their skills? And this can be for you too, Hakeem.
Oh, yeah. Well, you can make a blog. You can make a personal website that they usually like that when you showcase your skills via like CTF write-ups and stuff like that. Hakeem, you're the one, you got a job using your CTFs. How did you showcase yours?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Yeah, so one of the things I did was like at the bottom of my resume, I had like, I think I labeled like competitions or something. When I put like, hey, I was at this conference, I competed in this CTF or some CTF. I had like 3 bullet points. Like one was like came in 4th place out of 76 teams, right? Did foundational and advanced OSINT investigation. There was like another bullet point. So something fairly quick that they can see, and then I can talk about. So in an interview, they was like, "Hey, like, tell me about this. What is this?" So I walk them through. I say, "Hey, like, I originally wanted a lot pick and set because I thought it was cool, right?
Right, right.
And I competed, and here's what I learned, right? I learned that one, I fairly good at OSINT once I understand where to start, right? But I also learned how to research better, and it made me and at the time I was studying forensics, so like, and so I correlated to that. So it made me understand forensics at a different level, and they were like, interested. It's like, so like the job was like a research behavior researcher. It's like, well, we do a lot of research here, and but we don't have anyone that actually have this type of skill set, and we think that like that might actually be a difference maker here. And that is literally why I got that job, and it worked out great because like 6 weeks into it, they gave me a full-time offer.
Wow. That's
so
amazing.
so yeah, so it was pretty cool, and I was able to like help them do a lot. And through OSINT, I learned how to unredact files, so that became like a really big asset to them. So one little competition like landed me like a major opportunity, and it made them realize like, oh, we don't have this skill set. And during that internship, I created a program for them because they were part of the group that so if you get a security clearance through the government,
Hmm.
uh, and you have to do investigations, they'll like try to scan it. So I created a program that basically took your document for your, it's called SF86. It took that and like did an automated scan on social media to see like, oh,
Wow.
if you say you never traveled outside the country, it'll scan like social media to see if like you posted like being in Mexico or something. Um, so
Nice.
that was developed through my OSINT knowledge, which they still use now, even though I don't work for them anymore. But so yeah,
Awesome.
it was pretty cool, and I became a hiring manager for a different company. I've literally hired a person. Like they completely bombed their interview because they were very nervous. They couldn't answer really any questions. Their nerves just got the best of them. But I saw that they competed in, I think it was like one of the Try Hack Me CTFs or something. I saw that they put that on there,
Hmm.
and I just say, hey, like, tell me about this. Like, just relax. Tell me about this. And they broke it down their CTF competition. They didn't do great. Like they damn near came in last place. But
Right.
I love hearing like why they did it, the experience they got, and then I actually hired them on the spot, which is crazy because like we both knew they bombed the interview.
Right. Right. Yeah. It's,
but
yeah.
but I love that they was willing to do something outside of the box, outside of the comfort zone, and they were willing to learn, and that's what I wanted for that team member. So
Yeah. That's really important. I mean, if you can show that you can learn even on your own or in a team setting by doing a CTF, that's what the industry wants. They want to see you being a team player, but they also want to make sure that you can research because in cybersecurity, you're going to be doing a lot of researching. So, and it also shows too that you might think the interview's over because you bombed maybe some, I don't know, trivia questions, I want to call them, in interviews, like explain this cybersecurity concept and you're freaking out, even though deep down you know what it is, but it's just the nerves of the interview. Yeah, I've actually seen interviews where even for my own self, or I've seen other people that I helped in the past, it looked like they were gonna also bomb the interview, but because you have like a CTF, it shows your proof of knowledge. Even if you don't have a certification, for example, that shows that you've done something in the field and it's valuable and it's a contribution as well. Like you're showcasing your skills.
like I did an interview in September for a cybersecurity manager's position in Northern Virginia, and I did like this one was like the third interview, so it was in person, and one of the people I had to meet with was one of the principal owners, and I think his background was like biological engineering or something like that. We were talking, and somehow we started talking about podcasts, right? And like things I do, like competitions and stuff. And I told him about, using a Raspberry Pi and stuff like that. And then he's like, "Wait, you use that? Oh, I have one, and here's what I use it for." And like, so for like 20 minutes of that interview, we're talking about like his Raspberry Pi project, right? And like his eyes lit up, like it's just like the interview went like totally different, right? It was already doing
Right.
well, but like it just like kicked it up a notch. And this guy doesn't have a technical background, but yet he was playing around with Raspberry Pis, similar to what I was doing with one. And then like ended up getting a job offer after that.
Wow.
And it was really as crazy where like you never know, right? You never know these little projects you do. what might happen with them, right? That's why I always recommend people, if you don't put on your resume, at least talk about an interview. When they ask you about me, that's a perfect time to talk about it, because typically it's going to tie into the type of job that you're going after, and that's
Right.
really what hiring managers want to hear. So
Yes. Yes. Yeah, I agree. Blue Phoenix, do you have any other like tips or tricks? I feel like you've done so many CTF under the sun that I've seen with my own eyes.
I've studied a lot. I've gone through like not necessarily like competitions, but I've also gone through like Portswigger Academy and stuff like that. The Hack the Box Academy, a lot of their content, tips and tricks. I think in the competitions, one of the things that helped me, and it's already been said, is Googling. Like, definitely want to Google, but also even looking at other people's how they work through CTFs, looking at their write up. You can learn a lot through other people's write ups. I'm just trying to think of things that are actually going to help you in your CTF journey. I think basically asking questions is good, but you definitely want to learn the use of Google. And I'm going to say it again, like Google it.
Yes.
You got it. You
We're
got
nodding our
it.
heads in agreement. Yes.
go past the first page. I promise you.
Yeah. Don't get to page 5, and it doesn't work after that. It's like Google's in this weird stage where you get to page 5 and it's not that great.
Yes.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I agree. I agree. We are in the age of artificial intelligence, so we do allow folks to use artificial intelligence and use it correctly, folks. What I mean by that is don't use it for nefarious purposes. We have rules on that, but definitely use it like a Google, like a research tool
Yeah.
to help you
I
out.
wish I had that when I first started competing. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
Even if I was away from my like desk, I could have, now they have the app that you can use. So when I was running that mile, I could have been like chat GPT what to do. Craziness. We're not making folks run a mile, by the way. That is not a challenge. Just had to put that out there.
Should have been a question.
It really should. Now I'm thinking about it. Should we have a physical go run this mile and then come back and answer the question in this amount of time, and let's go with ChatGPT. I do believe Google is a very good tool, as well as what we said earlier, which is your teammates. Like you said, I think it was Blue Phoenix as well as Hakeem, like talk to your folks because you never know. I know that when I even did competitions with Women's Society Cyber Jetsu, shout out to them. And I was also a team captain for a few of these cyber competitions. We made sure that each player specialized in one area. So a lot of times we'd have one person just focus on reverse engineering because that person was passionate about reverse engineering. So we had one person do that. I would often do web as well because that was what I was familiar with. It also helped that I was just, I think I liked the developer side of things. So at one time, folks, I guess you could say, a developer. And then so I had a little bit of a coding comp sci background. And then I would focus on web, and then someone else would focus on OSINT or social engineering. And then there was another one that I thought about. Oh yeah, forensics. A lot of people loved forensics. Do we have forensics at our CTF? I think we do. So if you like forensics, we have forensics. And we have some other, I think that's what we did. We've specialized in one area, and then we all came together, and then we all exchanged what methods we did so we can help each other learn and grow, and that each person could document what they did, whether they posted it on GitHub, which I saw. I started doing that too, actually. I started posting a lot of my write-ups on GitHub because I was too afraid to put something on Medium at the time. Now I do everything on Medium. But yeah, it's really important to put that out there. Like we were saying earlier, you never know what kind of job it will lead. That one little CTF that you thought, oh, no one's going to pay attention. But then you realize, wow, that's what helped me get the job. It wasn't like it wasn't like my work experience. It wasn't like my, whatchamacallit, my other experience, my certifications. It was the CTF itself. I was trying to say CTF. But yeah, it was the CTF itself that helped me land the job. So folks, that's why I also made this CTF with this amazing community here. And thank you all for joining today and also for joining us live. And I really hope that folks will participate in the CTF. It is also in the description box for this YouTube channel. So please do check it out and register. And it's also in our Discord too, and as well as I think other social media platforms I put it out there. I think I put it out on LinkedIn as well. So yeah, check it out, folks. It's free. Have fun. You have 24 hours. I feel like that's enough for this type of entry level, but also up to expert level CTF. So please, please, please join. And thank you all. I think we're going to wrap it up pretty soon. But before I wrap it up, do we have any last words from Hakeem and Blue Pho3nix today before we call it a day?
Just have fun. Take it as a learning experience, but also, yeah, you can definitely win some prizes and do really well. So just go for it.
Yep, same thing. And take Angie's advice: divide and conquer. Right? Don't get
Yes,
stuck. If you're stuck on one thing, pass over to a teammate. Right? Let fresh eyes help you with that, and you go to the next question. But yeah,
exactly.
have fun. Like no matter what, have fun, enjoy it. And if any of you are college students, this would be good to go back to, like, if you have like a forensic club or some type of cyber club. This would be a good experience to kind of like have a meeting afterwards and tell them about the experience, right? So help each other grow.
Yes, yes, that I agree 1000%. And I feel like that's what helped also for myself. That's how I got into cyber, but was by joining a club. And if you don't have a club and you're not in school, make a club and also join our Discord. We are technically a tech club, Anti-Tech Cafe. It is a free Discord. I want to make that clear. It's free. You don't have to pay to get in. And you'll be able to enjoy and learn and grow together in this wonderful community. Again, happy first year of Anti-Tech Cafe. I'm hoping to many more of these moments and many more CTFs to come, I'm hoping. So yeah, thank you everybody. And thank you again to our amazing speakers today. And again, shout out to Andrea. I know she's not here right now, but I'm giving you a shout out because you also worked with us so much with our amazing CTF itself with all the challenges. So yeah, I hope that everyone has a wonderful day and a wonderful weekend too. And see you in the next video, folks. Bye.
So yeah, thank you.